Dow. How we doing?
Tired.
Yep, I feel that.
I am
Ooh,
tired.
Mike isn't plugged in.
What'd you say?
Mike wasn't plugged in. I think we're
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were wearing scrubs for a second with TSU on it. I was like, why are you wearing TSU scrubs?
Yeah, that's the new travel suit next year.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome in to the Mind of a Coach podcast. These are your hosts, Coach Nathan Moran, and my good friend, I stole it from Asa, my good friend, Asa Duval. Asa, episode 31. It's our Reggie Miller podcast.
Reggie Miller. I was going to go Sean Marion, The Matrix, but Reggie Miller, you're right. I don't know why I didn't think about that one.
I was just thinking Reggie Miller. That was the first one that popped in my head. So 31, and gosh, I mean, for the guests that we're having on, I guess we need a Reggie Miller podcast every time.
31, dude. 31. Every episode's a blast, dog. How you doing? You good?
I'm good. We're recording late at night this time. You know how the grind goes. So, I'm happy to be here. No place I'd rather be. What about yourself?
Hey, we got to make adjustments, man. Part of coaching, you got to make some in-game adjustments sometimes. Yeah. You got to be adaptable. I'm good, dude. I'm good, alive and kicking. Can't complain whatsoever. Been beautiful weather here in Nashville. We wrapped up another college basketball season. Thank the Lord for that. Thank you, college basketball. Thank you, March Madness, NCAA tournament. I can't believe we went a whole year without it. It was incredible to have it back. It never disappoints. Closest thing to perfect that man has ever made. Like I always say, NCAA tournament, thank you.
100%. Was that your getting it off your chest?
Kind of. I didn't know if you were going to ask me, but kind of so, man. Just thankful. I mean, just thankful. Incredibly thankful for the NCAA tournament this year. Would it be crazy to take Davion Mitchell as like a top 3 pick? Because I'm sold.
So I've actually heard, and I've been thinking about that, but I think what you try to do with the top 3 pick in the draft is someone that has the potential to be a superstar in the league.
Certainly.
I think he's going to be.
We don't think. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be, but isn't there a possibility that he could be?
I think he's going to be a great asset to somebody's team.
Yeah.
The superstar, I don't want to jump on that just because, one, I haven't seen him play enough.
Yeah.
But based on his performance, I mean, if that continues, he was my favorite player on Baylor. Everyone was talking about Butler and Teague and all these guys because they played well. Well, shoot, I mean, dude, he could average 18-plus points a game if he wanted to. He just makes the right play every single time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he is fun to watch. That kid plays hard. He plays hard. Jalen Suggs too, dude. That kid is. I mean, I'd probably take Jalen Suggs number 1.
Really?
Probably so, dude. The kid just wins. He is a bona fide winner. Well, how could you not? I mean, I know everybody loves Cade. He's 6'8", can shoot it, good playmaker. But man, Suggs is Suggs is not going to be a bust. Let me put it that way. Suggs is not going to be a bust. I don't think.
No, I was actually talking to someone the other day, and I know you're probably going to disagree with me on this. But once again, top 3 picks, I think, are guys that potentially have the opportunity to be a superstar. And obviously, you pick Stephen Curry not knowing that he is going to be a superstar. You Klay Thompson. Like, those guys, like, you can miss out. Kobe Bryant, I mean, like, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, for instance, like last year's draft, who did we have top 3? We had James Wiseman, potential superstar. We had LaMelo Ball, potential superstar. And then number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards. So all potential superstars, not just guys that like, okay, if they can come in the league and be successful right now, well, maybe it'll take a year or 2, but I think they have that type of stardom to them.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs, I think, is a lot better version of Josh Hart. Now, hear me out. This is why. Because I think he is solid on both ends, but I don't think he's going to go give you 18 to 25 points a game. I don't see that. And I don't see him just like controlling the game at the point guard spot. Now, I have been wrong before. I am not an NBA scout, and I have not watched enough on him. So, but from my first, from watching him in the NCAA tournament, that's who I get. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Josh Hart was a heck of a college basketball player.
Yeah.
Now, he was a lot older. I mean, I think he might have played 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I think Suggs is kind of in the same vein as, Tyrese Halliburton, if you paid attention to him at all.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, how the kid can play. He's a good teammate. He's making all kinds of plays, not just in the, scoring on the stat sheet. And, I think Suggs could kind of be that guy that's just a difference maker on a team, kind of like Tyrese Halliburton.
No, and don't get me wrong, this is no knock on Jalen Suggs. I mean, one, I would love to have Jalen Suggs on my team. I'd love to play with Jalen Suggs, period. But just the way that they go about it, I think he'll be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, Suggs will be a top 5 pick.
I just don't know if he'll be one.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of where I was getting at it. Yeah. But anyway, Asa, looking forward to our guest this week. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do it, man.
Oh, wow, the man himself.
What's up, fellas?
Here we go.
How you doing, Coach?
Good. Yeah.
Doing great.
We are doing good. We are doing good. What's going on with you?
A whole lot. Got to figure out how I can keep myself from shining so brightly on this.
Yeah, you got a glow going on right now.
I think I'd learned by now. Am I okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. A little light, but you're good. Yeah. We don't have any more malfunctions. All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the man of the hour, Coach Casey Alexander, Nashville, Tennessee native, graduated from Brentwood Academy, went on to play basketball under legendary coach Rick Byrd at Belmont. From there, you got your master's at Austin Peay. Went back to Belmont to join Coach Byrd's staff as an assistant. From there, you get your first head coaching gig at Stetson University in 2011, I believe, is when you got hired, right? Or 2012? Yeah, 2011. You were there for 3 years, 2 years. 2 years. Then you come back home to Nashville, get the head coaching job at Lipscomb, and then you decided to take a walk down the street to join your alma mater, be the head coach at Belmont. Coach, we appreciate you coming on, man. How you doing?
I'm great. It's great to see you guys. I've done a lot of fun things in my career, but this is the cream of the crop right here. My kids don't like it when I say we started from the bottom, now we're here, but I mean that's kind of what I feel like right here.
Facts.
How's the off season treating you so far?
It's so far so good. Just moseying along. Yeah. About to wrap it up. Guys are going home here in a couple of days.
Yeah, I know. School's approaching fast. All right, recap of the season. We do it with everybody. Recap of the season, challenges, the different things we had to go through. How was it for you?
Same as you guys.
Yeah.
It just different times. We all had to battle stuff that nobody could plan for or wanted or liked or anything else. And you just kind of figure it out as you go along, do the best you can, and hope you get lucky. And we were pretty lucky in a lot of ways. And we were very unlucky from March of last year until December, and then we were very lucky from December until the end. So you can take that as a blessing or a curse, I guess.
How do you keep your guys engaged during a time like that?
I think we've got a mature group. I think we're lucky to have guys that keep everything in perspective, and the culture in our program is really good. So it didn't take a lot of manipulation by me or a lot of motivation by me. Those guys handled it really well. It was tough for everybody. I mean, there's no doubt that we had some hard days, and there's a lot of doubt that creeps in, and nobody likes sitting in an empty apartment for 15 days or whatever quarantine was in the beginning and everything else. So we learned a lot about ourselves. But it's kind of weird. I've said it a lot. Every season has its own challenges and adversity, and you don't know what's coming or when or how much of it. But sometimes that's part of the fun. Nobody wants COVID, nobody wants pandemic, nobody wants any of that stuff. But at the same time, it's just to me, it's part of the joy of going through a season with a bunch of guys that you really love and care about, and trying to make the most of.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you're at Brentwood Academy from Nashville. Talk to us about how you got to Belmont.
How I got to Belmont? Ricky Bowers was my high school coach, who's gone on and done a lot of great things at NBA and Innsworth. And he was young and fresh back then, boy. He wore us out. But he is, he's clearly the reason why anything I've done that's been good in basketball, I would give him a lot of the credit. I mean, he taught me the game. He taught me the value of hard work. He taught me the value of being a leader. All the stuff that goes along with the position I played, which was the point guard. And so this really was my first love. I played basketball since I was 5 years old, but I never, I was just playing the game, and then when I was exposed to him and so forth, it taught me to look at it a little differently. And so, but the truth is I went to the University of Tennessee, high school. I was I was an average player, and that's all I'd ever wanted to do was go there. I had a lot of friends going there, and so I did it. But it took me one whole semester to realize, this isn't for me. And a lot of truth is, I came back to Belmont. I wanted to play, and I missed the game, but I knew I wanted to coach. I mean, I knew that that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
When did you know that? At what point did you know that? How did you come about that?
It's really all I ever thought about doing. In high school. I assumed, like my dream job would be to go back to Brentwood Academy and be their head coach one day.
Yeah,
that's all I really thought about. But then I go to UT and I'm pledging Kappa Sig, and I'm a business major, and so I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this here? This is ridiculous. And so, so I made the right decision, at the semester break, came back to Belmont and redshirted that year, and then played 4 years after that.
Coach, no offense, I can't see you as a pledge. I cannot see you as a pledge.
I wasn't a good one, I can tell you that. I think a lot out of me.
How was it playing for Byrd at, he was earlier on in his career at that point? How was it, being under a guy like that at that time?
Already good teams. The teams were good, but they hadn't experienced the, real significant success by that time. And he was perfect guy, perfect place, perfect style for me at the right time. Everything that I had with Coach Bowers and that, the Don Meyer disciples and everybody who learned the way, that was a regimented, very rigid system of play. It was fundamentals, all day, every day, which was good. It's the only way I could be any good as a player. And Coach Byrd he wasn't the opposite. He certainly valued fundamentals and was a great coach. But there was more to the experience for him. It was a whole lot more about, keeping guys playing the game because they love it. Guys understanding the game, guys, guys being able to just kind of naturally perform their best skill set, so forth on the floor. And so I really think that, in hindsight, I literally had the best of both worlds. I learned the game, to me, the way it has to be learned as a young kid. But then I played for a guy who had the best kind of overall mentality for coaching and teaching and developing a team, that, literally one of the best ever.
Yeah. So, Coach, 16 years is a long time to be at any place, and you're there as an assistant for that time. What kept you at Belmont for so long as an assistant coach?
Nobody would hire me is the main answer. I thought I was ready, right away. Come on. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I actually did almost go back to Brentwood Academy at one point in time, really early.
Did you really?
It was a gut-wrenching decision, but I stayed.
So you had the opportunity to go to Brentwood Academy? Something
like that, yeah. And so
off the record.
Yeah, so 16 years, though. What was interesting about my time at Belmont as a coach was my job changed consistently. My first year, which when I was in graduate school, we were in an NAIA program. Mm-hmm. It was the last year that we were NAIA. We were top, we were picked number one in the country to start that season. And it was all my teammates, Mm-hmm. But I was going to work every day, and then I would go to practice. And when practice was over, I'd leave campus about 4:30 to drive to Clarksville for my class on Monday through Thursday from 6 to 9. And then I'd drive back to Brentwood, and then I'd do my homework, and then I'd get up the next day, and I'd go work all day, then go to practice, then go to school, and come back home, So I did that for a year. So that was unique in itself. Then we made the move to Division I. And our first 5 seasons in Division I at Belmont, we were not in a conference. We had no postseason, and we were bad, And so that was quite a challenge, trying to navigate through that. We didn't know if we'd ever be any good. We were trying to figure it out. We had NAIA players and freshmen, and we're playing, trying to make some money and trying to survive. And so that was really bad. But then we got better, and then we got good, and then we got really good, and then eventually that's when I got opportunity to go somewhere else. But it was really, it's not like I had the same job doing the same thing for 16 years. It really changed over time.
So what was the hardest part of the transition? You're there for 16 years. You built a home there. What was the hardest part moving to DeLand, Florida and Stetson and becoming a head coach?
Yeah, it was, I wrongly assumed that, I could just go in there and be me and do things the way that I was used to doing them, and everything was going to work out all right. It was the challenge at Stetson. I have a lot of great memories of Stetson. I still have great friends from there. that 2 years for me personally, professionally, for our family, like I would not trade it for anything. It was extremely valuable, but it was, I thought, okay, well, Belmont's a private school, Stetson's a private school. Belmont's in the EA Sun, Stetson's in the EA Sun. And so, hey, I'll just go in there and, work my magic and we'll be all right. But it was a little tougher than that.
Yeah.
What's a head coaching interview like?
Gosh, the first interview I ever had was a Big South school, and it was miserable. It was
miserable.
It was all day. I mean, I got there the night before and I had dinner with somebody, and then they picked me up at about 7 a.m. the next morning. And I had to make excuses to go to the restroom like twice during the day just to have a minute to myself, because they just carted me around to meet with, compliance and athletic training and the assistant this and the team and the women's coach and the AD and the assistant AD and the head coaches and the booster club and the so-and-so. So it was a long day, but it was an unbelievable experience for me. I didn't get the job. Obviously, I never coached in the Big South, but it prepared me for the rest of them, and it's different. It's like anything else. I mean, some of them are very extensive like that, and some of them are you talking to the AD on the phone, until you get in a room with a couple of people and kind of finish things off.
Yeah. So, Coach, we go to Lipscomb, and then we go to Belmont. And since the time of a head coach that you've been in, you have had one of the most proficient offenses in college basketball. If you were to put your finger on 2 or 3 main coaching points, which has helped your offense be so efficient, what would they be?
God, we didn't even talk about Lipscomb. I mean, come on. I thought
we can go back. But I need to get in. So I need to learn here, Coach.
Offensive efficiency. Okay. The secret to our success offensively, first of all, was that I coached with one of the most brilliant offensive minds of all time, in Coach Byrd. Simple in a lot of ways, but a great strategist, a great understanding of how to play, and how to make something simple still hard to guard, and put your players in position to win. And I haven't strayed too far from that. A lot of what I do now and what I've always done, is still that same formula. But without a doubt, I mean, the number one thing you have to do to have a good offense is to recruit players to that offense that can execute the actions that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes that means taking a guy that may be a step slow. I'm not naming names, but maybe a step slow. may not be the best defender in the world.
Oh, come on!
Hey, you guys y'all don't even know which guy I'm talking about right
here. We tried hard, Coach. We tried,
but it's and truthfully, I mean, I've got a lot of room for growth as far as whole total package for the game. I mean, because all of us, we know what we've experienced, and my only experience as a coach was Rick Byrd.
Yeah.
And Belmont offense, and I've had to learn with different players and different teams how much of that we can do, how much we can't do, how to adapt it to my personality and so forth. And I think over time I've gotten better at that, but that's really it. It's know what you want to accomplish, recruit to that. And, obviously you got to be a good teacher if you're going to do anything very well.
Yeah. What is something that you do think you are either are trying to work on or that you need to work on, that you've been like, all right, this is an area that I need to improve myself?
Yeah. I mean, the modern day game is all about ball screens. That's not my strength on either end of the floor, and I'm not I don't watch the NBA extensively. I don't, and that's the way the college game is going as well. Whether it's offense or defense, that's not a strength of mine. Our staff talked about ball screens today for, quite a while. And, and I told them, I said, I learned more in this 30-minute meeting, hour-long meeting than I have in the last 5 years about ball screens, just kind of going back and forth with conversations, because it's not a big part of what we do offensively. And if you don't do it offensively and you're not teaching all those actions, you're not as good guarding them either. So that's an area of improvement that I desperately need.
So hang on, I have a question. What was it your junior? Y'all made it to the NAIA semifinals. Was it your junior or senior year?
Senior year. And the year after I left. And
y'all lost to Birmingham Southern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that the point guard on that team was transferred from Belmont?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. With a post player on our team, Al Allen, who was an All-American and scored 2,000 points, transferred. He went to Brentwood Academy with me, then went to Birmingham Southern, and then transferred back to Belmont.
Okay.
Wow.
Tommy Daly was at Belmont when I transferred in, and he was a better player than I was.
Yeah.
But he tore his ACL one year, then he had a bad year, and then things just didn't go right. So he transferred out for his senior season and went to Birmingham Southern. So we met them in the semifinals of the national tournament, and he promptly made about 7 threes on us, and they won the national championship. So great story for him, not so much for us.
Did that eat at you for a while? Does it still?
I mean, it wasn't a personal thing. I liked him. I don't think he had, much animosity for me. It was just, it was kind of weird how things worked out for him at Belmont. And we were very different in the sense that, he was a really good player and I was a really good everything else. And just what I did with the other stuff was really valuable to our team because I played with 3 guys who were 2,000-point scorers.
Yeah.
Al Allen, Kerry West, and DeQuinn Goff were all Americans at the NAIA level one year or another. All 3 of them scored 2,000 points. So we did what I gave our team was really valuable considering they did all the heavy lifting.
Were the games between Belmont, the Battle of the Boulevards, they were at Memorial. That was before you were there, right?
I played there a few times.
Actually. You did? You played? Okay. Please tell us about that environment because my dad talks about it all the time. And I can't get over the fact that 2 NAIA schools sold out, Memorial Gymnasium. What was that environment like? Because I'm infatuated with it.
Fundraiser, and it was actually my senior year in high school. I had a game at Stratford High School that night. David Knox and I, who both played at Brentwood Academy and Belmont, we left after our game and raced over to Memorial Gym to watch Belmont and Lipscomb get there in the second half. But, yeah, it was literally sold out, standing room only. Fire marshals shut it down. They would not let any more people in. 16,000 people to go watch an NAIA game was pretty crazy. And then we played 2 or 3 times after that. And, there was 10, 11,000, 9,000, 8,000, but, even that was pretty remarkable for our level for just a regular season game because there's that much passion. And that's really, Belmont Lipscomb played for a long time before and since. Yeah. But that was really where it all got started was because those teams Lipscomb was phenomenal during that day and Belmont was catching up and it was just, the games were just incredible.
All right, Coach, I'm going back to your offense. I need to know about some more basketball. So
we are jumping. We're jumping. We're going to be
jumping. I know. We're playing leapfrog here. All right, so what is your favorite drill in regards to helping an unguarded practice shot maker who struggles in games to become an in-game shot maker?
You're going to have to ask me that one more time.
All right. What is your favorite drill?
I'll understand it better.
All right, what is your favorite drill for a person who struggles to make shots in games but hits them in practice to help them make shots in games?
All right, I'm going to take the easy way out right here. Steve Draven, who was assistant coach for me for 8 years, 2 at Stetson, 6 at Lipscomb, and is, maybe the best shooter I've ever coached. He played for us at Belmont. Okay. At least he's in the top handful by now. But he taught me as a shooter, like the most important thing you can do is see the ball go in, like in practice. And so we could work on footwork or we could work on different drills or speed or, whatever. But he always took it all the way back to the beginning. These guys just need to see the ball go in. Start with grooving your shot at 2 feet and 3 feet and 5 feet and 8 feet and 10 feet and 12 feet and 15 feet and build repetition and go slow and then pick up your speed, And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of validity in that, as far as, just building confidence. If you're a shooter, naturally you think it's going to go in, but if you're not seeing it go in, then it's human nature to scratch your head a little bit and wonder, what am I doing wrong? So seeing it go in to me has always been the most important part. It's pretty simple, but that's nice.
Hey, sometimes the best things are simple. Most of the things are. If only we could tell our players, hey, basketball is actually really simple. I'm sure you tried to tell me that a couple times.
You guys both know I'd also say quit dribbling so much. If you're trying to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you made a number of tournaments as an assistant at Belmont. What did it mean to come to Lipscomb and take them to their first ever NCAA tournament as a head coach?
Yeah, it was the highlight of my coaching career. I wouldn't say it was my favorite game or anything like that, but was, you know, I mean, that's what we all ultimately want. There's so much more to coaching than playing in an NCAA tournament, but if you want any kind of validation for what you're doing, that's a pretty good standard to hold yourself to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so that was, but more than that, I mean, it was totally, I mean, the most thrilling part, and it may sound a little bit corny, but the most thrilling part by far was, you know, was doing it for Lipscomb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's who I worked for. I loved Lipscomb. I loved my time at Lipscomb. I loved our players at Lipscomb. I loved the people that supported Lipscomb. And so seeing those people enjoy what we were doing was easily the most gratifying part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, for the first 3 years at Lipscomb, our record isn't the best. So going into junior year, we start off slow. Or not, sorry, junior year, your fourth year. Okay. We start out slow, and then we kind of get hot. And I remember you talking about how at Belmont you guys were struggling, and then you guys hit a shot, and that kind of set you over the hump. And you kind of spoke into existence, and it was like we hit that shot. Josh Williams hits the shot against Tennessee Tech, and then from then on out, we start winning. So tell me a little bit about, one, the shot at Belmont, and two, how that, like, I guess how it changed at Lipscomb.
Trying to remember what our shot at Belmont was.
Yeah, what shot was that?
Shoot, I don't know. He told me, he might have lied to me, or he might have lied to all of us, I guess.
No, I think the message here more than anything is, I mean, winning is hard. Mm-hmm. Learning to win, believing you're going to win, getting your team over the hump. You know, if you haven't been winning, you know, at any significant level, I mean, that's a challenge for all the programs out there. Division I, there's 357 schools, you know, and there's a large percentage of those that, when you boil it all down, they haven't had very much success in winning, mm-hmm. you know, and so. And Lipscomb, I've always felt like had the potential to do that, and they had won plenty before. It's not like they had always been a bad program by any stretch, but it had been a while, you know. And so my only motivation was to basically, hey, when you said speak it into existence, you know, I'm trying to inspire some confidence in you guys. I'm trying to show you and tell you that it can happen. You know, please just stay the course. Please just do what we're asking you to do. Please just keep playing together. Please just keep believing in what we're doing. Please just, you know, whatever. And, you know, you guys know I'm not any kind of, I'm not a great philosopher. I don't really, you know, I keep things pretty simple and try to be pretty honest in my approach. But, you know, I knew we had what it took, you know, but we had to get over that hump of seeing it. Yeah.
Well, what kind of stress level were you having at that time? Struggling, or not struggling, but we made the semifinals year 2 and 3, and I guess 4, but not having the winning record that you probably hoped for.
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult, you know, but I also felt like it was strange. I felt like our program was where we wanted it to be. Like, we didn't have the results. You know, and my third year at Lipscomb, I don't know, I guess it was your second year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, that was our worst. Mm-hmm. That was the worst season that we had. We had some injuries. We had some schedule. We, you know, just kind of a perfect storm of things happened.
That was a year we didn't win a game in December, wasn't it, Nate?
No, yeah, we did not win a game in December, and Josh tore his ACL.
Josh tore his ACL, and Big Michelle broke his wrist, and we were playing.
Talbot tore shoulder.
We had guys, and we were playing a really tough schedule during that stretch, and so it was difficult. We battled back in the league, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the league, and we won our first tournament game and that sort of thing. But I got off track there. But I really felt like we were where we were trying to go, if you could look at it just from the big picture perspective. And you know, and one thing that I will never forget, and one thing that'll always mean a lot to me is Philip Hutchison, our AD. I mean, I got an extension after our third year, the worst year. We've been there 3 years, and we've been bad, you know, that third year. But he gave me and our staff an extension because he could see that we had the right pieces. He could see where we were going. He could see, you know, he liked what he saw as far as culture, chemistry, you know, community on campus, people that were starting to buy in and like what Lipscomb was doing. So that was really all the inspiration and confidence I needed. And then the rest of it kind of took care of itself. We turned it around after that. Okay.
Hey, I got a random story time here. Coach, I don't know if you remember this at all. I'm in the 6th grade. Sunset Middle School. I'm playing up with the 7th graders. We're at team camp in the summer. It's like day 2 of it. And you had been reffing, I think, some of the games, walking around checking them out. And you come up to me and you go, I was playing point guard for whatever reason. And you said, hey, how do you think you played yesterday? And I said, I think I played okay. In case you didn't, coach, you just go, you had 6 turnovers in the first half.
My memory is that was on the south court in the curve.
Yep, that's exactly where it was.
He was not lying when he said he is honest, Asa. He was not lying. So if we're going to tell funny stories about Coach Alexander, I'm going to go ahead and hop in.
Please, let's do it.
All right, so first game, not first game, freshman year, we're playing against Colorado, okay? Playing against Colorado. I got to tell Coach Alexander this story. So I get in. And Chad Lang comes to set a ball screen. I don't know what you were doing setting ball screens for me, but I decided to bingo a ball screen, go against it. And I'm wide open. Oh, my goodness. I'm wide open, 15 feet, air ball. Hits off Chad Lang, goes out of bounds, media timeout. Coach Alexander walks out. He's almost at half court, and he's just staring at me. I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm scared at this point. His face is beet red. I mean, he is like everything. Like his eyes are about to pop out. I walk to the bench. He stares me down the whole way. He looks at me and says, "What are you doing? You are Nathan Moran. You do not take that shot."
I remember that.
I'm not doing it again. I promise.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know what I meant by that, Nate. I mean, sorry about that.
No, I think you were meaning that no mid-range jump shots early in the clock.
We can keep
Andrew
going.
Nathan Moran.
We can keep going. At Texas, I airballed a free throw my freshman year. And we come back, there's a timeout, and they had a dude named Prince eBay. And coach looked at me, and the only thing he just goes, "Damn it, Asa, eBay's like shooting 15% on the year." After I airballed, and that's all you. I had no idea what you meant at the time. I had no idea.
I didn't say "damn it." I didn't say.
Oh yeah, well,
I believe it.
We
Coach,
didn't do any fact checking for that one.
Yeah, I believe Coach Alexander. You did not cuss. So kudos to you.
That was good.
You guys can. I mean, you guys have already learned. There's so much that happens in a season that coaches say and do. And,
yeah.
And as soon as it happens, players remember it forever, but coaches move on to the next. Hardly even can remember that it happened.
I actually think it's one of the funniest stories I've ever had.
There was
I was like, dang, you're right. I am like, maybe I should never take that shot ever again. Thinking about it.
You thought, hey, I'm Nathan Moran. And that's kind of how
I was like, yeah, no, you're probably right. I was like, oh, wait, he told me not to shoot. I'm going to shoot every single time now.
And then
false confidence for sure.
And he looks at me one, "Hey, so you've been here for 6 years. Can't you get it right by now?" Then Nate's the one that's actually there for 5 years.
You were just 26. It was different.
Different. I was just old. I was just a
fifth-year bum.
Where's your head at going into next season, Coach?
Excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we I don't know. We've got our top, 7, 8, 9, 10 scorers coming back. A lot of guys with a lot of experience. Five seniors that are all fifth-year guys.
Yeah.
And pretty good players in that group, and guys that won a lot of games. So it'll be, in a lot of off seasons, I think I would be worried about, hey, how are we going to keep them hungry and keep getting better, and But I think the way our season ended this year. I like the mentality of our team, and I think that I think they feel like there's still plenty out there for them to prove and accomplish.
Oh, certainly. With this, one time, I guess they're giving everybody this year back. Do you think a lot of players will take advantage of that, or are some just going to do the 4 and bounce? I mean, do you think are you excited about being able to have a lot of players back? For that extra year, or do you? I'm of the belief sometimes that 4 years you run its course and it's done. I don't know.
The situation's different too, because at Belmont we've had so many guys redshirt.
Yeah.
Literally, out of the 14 guys on our roster, probably 9 or 10 of them have redshirted.
Yeah.
So for them to exercise that extra year, that's their 6th season.
Yeah.
And there's not many guys that want to, that want to stick around. And I think that a lot of guys will play for 6 years, but there aren't many that want to stay in school for 6 years.
Right, exactly.
And so, for example, all 5 of our juniors, they're all graduating this May.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so they'll all be in graduate school next year. They'll all get their master's degree the next summer, So like, why would they come back and play a 6th year? They've already got they've already got their master's degree and played 5 years. So I don't think it'll impact us very much, and we had no seniors on this year's team, so it wasn't even an issue.
Yeah.
And then we'll just take it as it comes down the road.
Who's the besides Coach Draven, who's the best shooter to come through Belmont?
You know what? There's an unheralded guy that never got the credit he deserved. Jesse Snyder was a great shooter.
Yes.
I mean, naturally, Ian Clark was, he's probably the best ever. Ian Clark has to be, as far as most accomplished. I don't know, if Steve and Ian stood out there, in a 3-point shooting contest after practice, it would be a pretty good matchup. But Ian was, Ian could transfer practice performance in the game performance, as well as anybody that Belmont's ever had.
Now at Lipscomb, besides Garrison Mathews, because obviously he's the number one.
Nate's trying to pat himself on the back right here.
He's trying.
So you're saying me? Okay.
Pat yourself on the back. I said
no. I said besides Garrison.
We got Matt Rose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying no.
Nate, if I had to have somebody shoot a really important 3 in a game, I'd love for you to take it anytime.
Coach, you might get a miss, but I appreciate it.
Anytime. You're just fundamentally ready, really good. You're definitely one of the best shooters I've ever coached.
Yes.
Look at that, Nate. Look at that.
Hey, I appreciate it, Coach. Hey, you're one of the best coaches I've ever had.
When you have a talent like Garrison Mathews, who he comes in, exceeds all expectations, do you have to have a little bit of a different approach to a kid like that when you realize, all right, hey, this kid, he's special, he's got a chance? You kind of got to do you have to loosen the rope a little bit, let him go, maybe let him play through some mistakes that you otherwise wouldn't do for some players?
Yeah, of course. That's that whole thing of, you got to treat everybody fairly, but you don't have to treat everybody equally. Some guys deserve, a different level of freedom based on what they can do. And that's a hard thing for teammates to understand. That's a hard thing to navigate through every season and every team at every level. That's just part of the equation that can be difficult. But, Gary was, what I love about Garrison's story is basically that he deserves all the credit, in my opinion. And I think he played in an offense that was good for him. I think he played with teammates that were good for him, but the guy did it by himself. I mean, the way that he learned how to work on his game, how much time he spent on his game, how much time he spent working, on his body and changing that around and getting in better shape. And, so people ask me that all the time, but I mean, he did that stuff himself. I mean, to the point where, he was, the way that he finished his career at Lipscomb and how well he was playing, it was unbelievable how good that joker was.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. The NC State game, I don't know if I'll ever coach a game where somebody had a better performance than he had at NC State.
That was amazing.
Gracious.
That was absolutely amazing.
Totally ridiculous.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he is one of, if not the hardest worker I've ever seen. Every single summer, he's in the gym 2 times a day in the weight room, early in the morning. People didn't see that part. Everyone was just like, oh, he can shoot it really well. No, the kid's been in the gym all summer and all fall. We have practice our 5th year, or my 5th year, your last year at Lipscomb, and we have practice in the afternoon. We have weights in the afternoon, and he's still going to lift and do stuff in the morning, like all the way in Franklin. The kid was super dedicated. There's a reason he is where he is now.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And all of us are enjoying his success, proud of him, and it's been really good.
This next question, kind of for both y'all. What was the Garden experience like? Making it to the Final Four, the NIT, getting to play in the Garden. How was that for both y'all? If both y'all want to answer it.
Go, Nate.
Awesome. What else do I have besides that? It was the coolest moment that I think we had, or that I had in my college career outside of making the NCAA tournament, which I didn't even play in. I think the fact that you were just standing in there and you were thinking about all the historic things that have happened in that place, because at the end of the day, I look at these gyms and I'm just like, it's a gym.
Yeah.
My favorite place to play in the world actually was NC State. That was my favorite gym I've ever played in.
Yeah.
Even more than Madison Square Garden. I know that might sound weird, but yeah, God, that was the coolest thing I ever played in.
Coach?
My answer is pretty similar. I mean, I never said this publicly, or certainly not to the team, but I mean, I really wanted to beat Wichita State. You know, I wanted some validation for why we were there. I mean, and it was, well, we had played really well. I mean, we go to Davidson and win.
You basically owned the state of North Carolina during that whole run.
UNC Greensboro was the number one, seed in NIT. We were up by 30 at one point in that game. Then we go on the road in a packed house at NC State, against an ACC team, and playing in literally the game of our lifetime. I mean, it was as far as environment, the level of play by both teams, the quality of the game. It'll be hard to ever play in a game that was better than that. The stakes may be higher, but it would be hard to play in a game that was better than that. Yeah. And then all I really wanted for these guys was just, I thought, we know it's not a fluke, but I want to beat Wichita State because I want some validation for, hey, we deserve to be here. We're legitimately this good.
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite part of the trip, was winning that game. And not that I didn't want to beat Texas in the finals. Of course I did. But just being able to stay there, just being able to, continue to enjoy these guys and the team. I mean, it was a magical ride, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, hey, before we get into some rapid fire questions, since Nate and I are such, experienced individuals in this profession now, if there's anything you want to ask us, about basketball, maybe something you're struggling with, we can help you, now's the time. So, ask away, because I don't know if you're going to get this opportunity to be on, on a podcast with two brains like this.
Asa, I want you to tell me, since that day that you made 6 turnovers on the South Court in 7th grade for Summit Middle School and the Belmont basketball team camp, I want you to tell me literally the most profound thing that you've learned in the game of basketball.
The most profound thing. I think you always got to make the right play, no matter what. I think being unselfish and making the right basketball play, no matter who's in the corner. I think that one dribble, short pull, kick to the corner, I think that's one of the best plays in basketball. I think no matter if the guy has missed 4, 5, 6 in a row, if he's still sitting in that corner, you still gotta make that pass. So I think sharing the ball and being unselfish, making the right basketball play, is probably something that I've learned from a lot of my coaches, you included. And something that I feel like I want to take with me as I go on. I don't know how profound that is, but I would say just sharing the basketball, getting it moving, and making the right basketball play, no matter the circumstances, is probably one of the.
There's a lot of I hear a lot of hidden layers in there. I mean, in order to do that, you've got to be a good teammate. You've got to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. You've got to understand what's expected of you. You got to know what the coach desires from you. You got to know how things fit together. Yeah. So there's a lot of meat behind that, for sure. All right, so totally different gear here, Nate.
Okay.
I don't want you to compare and contrast like this was better or that one was better, but one of the great things about watching guys like you guys, go on somewhere else. As you start experiencing different things, there's different ways to play offense. There's different ways to play defense. There's different ways to, to give a pregame speech. There's different schools. There's different locations. There's different whatever,
Absolutely.
You've got a really good BGA experience in high school. You had what ended up being a great experience at Lipscomb. Then you go to Missouri Southern and play for a really good coach at Sundance Splits and had a great year. And you're at Lee this year. You have a good season with Bubba Smith. So different experiences, but kind of what's the common ground for those good experiences, where if I said, hey, Nate, we're starting school X tomorrow, brand new school, zero anything. You're the coach. What do you want to take with you?
I would say the thing that has been in common with every single program that I've been in, and why we've had success, I would say, is because there's a level of care behind every single level of the team. And when I say that, I mean the coaches care. It's not like a fake persona that you're putting on. It's a level of care diving into actual people's lives. I truly think basketball is less about these certain players and more about like how you're interacting with people. Like, I mean, how you're talking to people, how you're picking each other up, how hard are you working, et cetera. So I think that is the most common thing that from high school to Lipscomb to Missouri Western to Lee, if you want to have a successful team, and obviously there's 1,000 different ways to do it, but the most common thing that I've seen in those four, I guess, is that there's just a level of care that if you were able to get there, and you can kind of see it when it starts happening. I think that's kind of what you were talking about when Philip Hutchison offered you the extension, is there's the culture that's starting to go on. There's a level of care like, all right, we're interacting with these players probably ways that maybe the old head coach wasn't able to interact with them. They're interacting with the community ways that the community wasn't interacting with them. And so I think that all transfers to the basketball court. So I would say very simply, level of care is my common ground.
I would agree.
There you go. Asa, getting some rapid fire, man.
All right, I'm going to start off with some has nothing to do with basketball. I'm just curious. I mean, so the first one is literally going to be. It doesn't have to be your favorite movie, but what is one of your favorite movies that come to mind?
You're mixing it up.
I'm going, but I just want to start off with some, just some, get to know the guy.
Juju right there.
Get to know the guy a little bit. Most people don't get asked these questions.
Yeah. First of all, I'm an extremely boring person. All right. My favorite movie of all time is Field of Dreams.
Okay. Okay. What is one of your?
I'm a huge baseball guy. I mean, this is my favorite movie.
You like the Braves, right?
No, Nathan.
You
not like the Braves.
I know he likes the Cubs, Asa. It's a joke. I'm a Braves fan. Thank you, Asa. Gosh, I didn't know I needed to clarify.
Wow.
Obviously, he put up the flag every single post he had when we were at Lipscomb. I know he's a Cubs fan.
What's one of your favorite musical artists of all time?
The country. That's about my only answer. Golly, who is my favorite? Told you I'm a boring guy. Favorite musical artist of all time. I don't have any of those guys.
No, you got a favorite concert?
My first concert ever was Alabama.
Okay.
At MTSU.
How old were you?
At MTSU?
Yeah, at MTSU. It was Alabama, MTSU. And I was probably about 10, be my guess.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But I did have Starwood Amphitheater's season tickets for 2 or 3 years. So I saw all kinds of concerts. You guys will be glad. I mean, I saw Run DMC. I saw the Beastie Boys.
No way. You went to a Run DMC concert?
Some of those are at Municipal Auditorium, too. I saw LL Cool J at Municipal Auditorium.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Then I went this way. So.
Oh, what I would give.
I'm pretty much a country music, Christian music, about 100%. And Katy Perry. Allie will tell you.
Okay. Last meal before you die.
Something was steak with really red meat, There
we go.
Ribeye, a bone-in ribeye, medium rare. And then I don't care what else you put with it, but that's from some good steakhouse. That's what I'd eat.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So how many games have you been kicked out of?
Kicked out of? None.
None? When was your last technical?
My last technical would have been it was either my last game or the game before my last game. I had 2 this season, but one of them was in the OVC tournament. I don't remember which game it was.
You ever dunked a basketball on a 10-foot rim?
Evans, no. I could feel the bottom of the rim with the top of my fingers sometimes. Most of the time I couldn't get there, but every now and then I could feel the bottom of the rim. Let me tell you what changed my life as a player.
Okay.
You guys have no idea this is true, but you've probably been in some of these gyms. But at some point in time while I was in college, they changed from the low-hanging backboards to the higher backboards.
Yeah, they used to be 8 or 10 inches in, but
devastating for sure.
The bottom of the net. So guys like me, when I went in to shoot a layup half the time, I couldn't even lay it off the glass. My hand didn't get high enough off the glass.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So
I hear you.
That changed my whole,
Yeah.
That changed my whole experience as a player. I mean, the 2 drives I had to the rim on the season turned into 0.
Okay, you're up 3 at the end of the game. Do you foul or let it play out?
I've never fouled.
Never?
Never have.
Interesting.
And I don't even disagree with it. I just, I think it's kind of weird. I mean, I think that most of that's because I've just never trusted our rebounders.
Yeah.
I feel like we've always coached pretty smart teams, and I've never trusted our rebounders. So I was just willing to let them decide if they could get a stop or not.
Okay. Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half.
I'm learning to leave him in more often.
Yeah.
I'm typically pretty conservative about it, but I'll say this: the higher the stakes in the game, the more likely I am to leave him in.
Okay. Go for the tie, go for the win.
Go for the best shot, whatever that is. I mean, could be a post feed, could be a three, just whatever the best shot.
Okay, so let's say you have a timeout, side out, you're drawing up a play. What would you go for?
Again, it would all depend on, do we have a post guy that I know is going to get a good shot off? If so,
yeah, you have Nick Muzinski or Rob Marbury, whoever.
Most likely, I would run something for him.
Okay.
In the Murray State game in the championship 2 years ago, we ran a backdoor play.
Mm-hmm.
Garrison, we ran a lot of just quick handoff actions for him, toss actions for him to get him shots. So it kind of depends on what personnel is.
I like it.
Suture Sweats on the sideline. Y'all did khaki. You did khakis this year.
Definitely not sweats. I mean, you got to have some level of professionalism. Good grief. But casual all the way. If we go back,
okay.
I'm going casual until somebody tells me we can't anymore.
Okay. I like that. Maybe I'll change it to casual or professional on the sidelines. Early morning practice or evening or night practice?
Morning.
If you could not coach basketball, what would you do?
You know what? I listened to your podcast with Boondog, Adam Nutter.
Yeah.
And mine is real similar. I would want to work for the Chicago Cubs. And Sonny, my wife would always say, I want to be the bat boy for the Chicago Cubs. That's all I want to do. Like you sit right there by home plate. You're there for every game.
Yeah.
Every now and then you got to run some balls out there. Yeah. I would eat our favorite, Asa, our dill pickle seeds.
Yes.
And then I'd be living the life.
There we go. Okay, what's your handicap in golf?
Well, at the end of the summer, it's like a 9 or 10. You know, I played today. It wouldn't be measurable.
It would. Should every team make the conference tourney?
No.
LeBron or Jordan? Don't even answer. Don't even answer.
We haven't gotten on LeBron yet, Asa.
No, we haven't. It's okay. One day we'll get it.
I respect him more and more.
Do you?
Yeah. He's not as good as Jordan.
Okay. All right.
That's fine. That's fair.
That's all I got for the rapid fire. Nate, you got anything else?
I saw Michael Jordan. Hey, let me tell you, I saw Michael Jordan play an exhibition game against the Atlanta Hawks at Memorial Gym at Vanderbilt one year. The Hawks had Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb.
Oh, wow.
Times were different then. We went to the Holiday Inn right there by the football stadium.
Yep.
Because that's where they stayed. The Hawks did. And we literally figured out which floor they were on and went knocking on their doors. And they're opening their doors up as me and a friend of mine.
How old were you?
Trying to get autographs.
How old were you?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, 12, maybe 10, 11.
21, 22.
Did you get any autographs?
No. Everybody's like, no, get out of here, kid.
Yeah, that could not happen today. That could not happen.
Hey, bold. Hey, Coach, my last thing would be, I know we were joking a lot about some of the funny stories that happened to us, but I think we were both super grateful to play for you. And I'm not trying to give you your flowers here, but I am going to say, like, for a kid like me who was about to go Division III basketball, having a chance to play Division I basketball under you, I couldn't be more thankful for that. So I'm super appreciative for you for that whole journey and through the coaching world too. You've been such a big help for me. So I just appreciate you a lot, and I'm sure I could say the same for Aces. I'm gonna piggyback off that and say, with what I'm trying to do now, there's nobody that I would have rather played for. So, and I would absolutely, I'm very appreciative of it, and you and the coach you are and the person you are. Yeah, you guys know I feel the same way. I mean, when I tell you that I love you, I genuinely mean I love you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Last thing is, so JJ sent me some questions today. He said he didn't tell me what the case was. I don't know if he told you, but apparently we may or may not have spaced 10 spaces in between mid-range. And he laughed at it and was like, why did you say the exact same thing as Casey? I was like, really? I didn't know.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
We didn't have the same order, but we did have the 10 spaces in between that mid-range.
Mid-range is last, is what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I spent too much time with you, but
so maybe we'll do it again someday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Coach, where can they find you on Twitter and Instagram?
Casey Alexander _ on Twitter. I don't know what I am on Instagram. Probably the same thing.
It's Casey. I looked it up mid-show. It's Casey Alexander _ on both.
Yeah.
Hey, so go ahead and finish it, brother.
I can look at Instagram every now and then, but I'm not very active on there.
Well, you can find myself on Twitter, on Instagram at the Ace of Spades with a Z on the end. You can find Nathan on Instagram and Twitter at Nate5 _ Moran. There we go, Coach. You can find us. You can find Mind of a Coach on Twitter at Mind of a Coach 1, and you can find Mind of a Coach on Instagram at Mind of a Coach. Coach, we appreciate you, man, coming on, doing this with us this week. You got a wealth of knowledge. We appreciate you pouring into us a little bit and putting up with us. Me for 4 years, Coach Nate for 5 years. Best of luck to you in Belmont basketball the rest of the next year, except when you play us. And we'll thank y'all for tuning in. Coach, we'll talk to you soon, sir.
Love you guys. Talk to you.
Love you, man.